In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser, this is Whiskey Fraser, and this is my husband Joe.
Hello.
Hello. Today's podcast is brought to you from the Dingle and powered by herbal tea. What are you drinking, Joe?
I've got Old Socks and Red Bush, and you have Old Socks and ginger and honey, I think.
Ginger, lemon and manuka honey.
Right, that's it, yes.
No socks.
Socks.
No.
Mostly socks.
I do. It's very tasty, and you wouldn't be drinking it if it wasn't tasty.
Yeah.
It's vanilla rooibos you've got, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we're still doing the alcohol experiment.
We are?
Which is, I'm not even feeling like I want to have a drink, to be honest. I'm really enjoying the non-fuzz.
Yeah, I think you must have had more fuzz than me, because I'm kind of like, I'm feeling a bit neutral about the whole thing.
And you've got your arms crossed defensively. Listeners, if you could see him, he's got his arms crossed defensively.
Like super defensive.
He is. Okay, so, well, should we do a quick Dingle update?
Dingle update. We should have a little xylophone to do have a little three-tone introduction to the Dingle update.
Ding, 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 ding.
Something like that.
I'll get my guitar next time.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Dingle update. So we have lighting up in the attic bedroom.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting.
Just waiting on some flipping shades.
Waiting on some shades.
And we can sort out the length of the dangle.
Length of the dangle, because the hooks arrived today. The sky hooks arrived today.
Put some sky hooks up.
And yeah, we were sitting up there yesterday thinking, gosh, isn't it lovely up here? And it's going to be such a lovely bedroom. And it just feels like we're about to take a massive milestone.
Yeah, I posted a picture on Facebook of the nearly completed room, and I got more likes for it than anything I've posted in about 5 years.
Nice.
So it must be all right. It must be close.
Lots of little dopamine hits.
Yeah.
So yeah, this week we are talking about how writing a book may or may not make you rich. Because it's a question that I get asked sometimes. Why should I write a book? Will it make me rich? And I thought I would talk about it because I read an article recently about J K Rowling's most recent royalty check. Guess how much it was for?
$10 million.
£34 million.
That's a chunk of cash, isn't it?
That's a chunk of cash. And her earnings last year were around £72.3 million. I can't even get my head around that amount of money, can you?
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I don't know. It'd just be bizarre. I mean,
we'd get the Dingle finished pretty quickly, wouldn't we?
Yes, we would. Yeah, we would.
There'd be a lot less like, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. It'd be like, right, let's get in here and do it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we'll have to wait till next payday to do this thing. No, we'll just do it. I would still want to do a lot of it myself, though. Because I'm really enjoying I really love the fact that I can now wire up light fittings and sockets and, in fact, put in a whole ring main.
Not legally.
Am I just getting myself into trouble here?
It's all going to be certified, folks. It's all going to be certified.
Well, that's the thing. It is going to be certified. There is nothing in the law that says you can't do your electrics yourself.
No.
So, and we're doing at least as good a job as I would say.
I think we're doing a tidier job than a Sparky would do.
Yeah.
We care more than a Sparky would.
Yeah, of course we do. It's our house. So J K Rowling's recent royalty check, £34 million. So, Joe, is that why business owners should write a book?
I mean, if you've got a series of best-selling novels in you that is going to net you £100 million in the next couple of years, then I would suggest that you should probably stop what you're doing and write your books.
But you can't guarantee that, can you?
You can't guarantee that.
No. And J K Rowling went to every publisher in the land before one of them finally said, yeah, let's give that wizard thing a try.
Yeah.
And everybody else, all the other publishers that turned it down now must be like, man, we screwed that up. Because if J K Rowling is earning 70 million quid, then the publishers I can't even... Like, I think, royalties are 10, 15, 20%. She's probably got a better deal than most people. But
After the first couple of books, I would have thought so, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, if you're a business owner and you would like to write a book and you see these headlines every now and then and think, oh gosh, 30 million quid, that'd be amazing. I hate to piss on your chips, but that's not why you should be writing a book. It really isn't. Because most books, fiction or non-fiction, wither and die before anyone other than the author's mum has a chance to read them, which is terribly sad, really. And that's whether they're good books or bad books.
Yep.
And, it's sad. And because the author gets really excited about the big idea, and then they write and they write and they write, and then they release their book into the wild, and then they tend to sit back and wait for the world to beat a path to their door. It's like they build it and they will come.
And they just don't.
They just don't. Because... like anything else, just because you build it doesn't mean anyone's going to come. They have to know it's there first. And it has to be something that people actually want and need as well. So yeah, it's entirely possible to make plenty of money from your book, just not perhaps in the way that you might think. Not in the way that J K Rowling has done. Not in the way that Stephen King has done. So why do business owners, or why should business owners write a book, Joe? Because I think all business owners should consider writing a book, because most people won't, and so you will automatically stand out for the very fact of having written a book.
Well, I think most business owners should write a book because that would make them stand out for the very fact that they've written a book. Jeez.
Thanks for that. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like, ask me a question, then give the answer that I was going to give. That's fine.
I can't see into your brain. I didn't know that was going to be the answer.
Another reason business owners should write their book. Well, yeah, there's the differentiation thing. It's an amazing business card.
It is an amazing business card. And there's a certain section of, I don't know, I guess business that says, that's all it is, and it doesn't really matter if your book is any good or if anyone reads your book. And I take massive issue with that. I mean, I get it. I get that it's if that is all, and I'm not, each their own and all the rest of it. If all you want is a glorified business card, fill your boots.
Yeah.
Go write a whatever and call it your business card, and that's cool. I think that a book can be and should be far more than that. Books are important, if for no other reason than because trees are murdered to make them.
That's true.
Sacrificed.
I think as well, one of the things that you do when you sit down and think about writing your book is, for starters, you will do a lot of research into who your target market is. You will do a lot of thinking about who your customers are. You will do a lot of thinking about, what they want, what they need, and what they don't need. And you will concretize all of your thoughts.
Concretize?
Concretize your thoughts.
Good word.
Thanks.
Did you make it up?
No.
Okay.
It's a legit word.
Okay.
Jeez. And it's like when you teach something to somebody, you have to think about it and think about it a lot and learn and properly form your thoughts, unlike what I'm doing right now.
Good, well said.
And that like deliberate thinking about it and forming it well goes a long way towards just improving your ability to do your job, I think.
That's a really good point. That's a super good point. I'm really glad that you brought that up. If even if
I'm not just a pretty face.
You're not. You're not. You're a very smart man.
Thank you.
Thoughtful man. And there's not goldfish going around. So yeah, I mean, writing your book will improve your skills. It will improve your knowledge. It will improve your confidence. Actually, it will enormously improve your confidence because of all of the things that you've just said. Because people, you will learn more about your target audience and what you're doing and why you're doing it and all the rest of it. And the very fact that you've written a book just lifts you above most other business owners.
You literally become the person who wrote the book about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, John, he wrote the book on cooking with phalanges, and Sue, she wrote the book on, travelling with nothing but a bum bag. I don't know, I'm just thinking of like really niche stuff off the top of my head.
And cooking fingers was the first thing you came up with. Where are you going to get the fingers from?
Lady fingers? Isn't that okra?
Jeez.
That's obviously what I was thinking.
That went really weird.
Your face is really weird. So
harsh.
So yeah, you could be the person that people say she wrote the book on it.
Yeah.
You know, we have a saying, we have a cliche in English to describe somebody who knows a lot about a subject, and you can be that person. So yeah, it builds your credibility as an expert in your field.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, you know, you wrote the book on it, and people, you know, rightly or wrongly, people still think authors are somehow special, and we are.
Well, you know, what separates the authors from the people who are not authors is that the authors have thought about it and put some concerted effort into it and actually sat down and done it. And non-authors, if they've even considered it, have clearly not achieved it. Yeah,
and there's a lot to be said for, you know, because I tell you, it's not easy writing a book.
No, it's a body of work, isn't it?
It's a body of work. It's not easy. It's nowhere near as hard as most people think. But it is definitely not easy, and it definitely will make you cry at some point, and definitely you will never want to see the damn thing again at some, you know, at various points. But I don't subscribe to this idea that, you know, you can knock out a book in a weekend. I don't think most people, not everybody, but I don't think most people can knock out anything that's worth reading in book form in a weekend. They just can't do it. And so, you know, I've seen courses out there, you know, write your book in a weekend, and I look at it and I'm like, that's bullshit. Either
write an
they're
article
not,
in a weekend.
Yeah, either they are missing out a whole chunk of pre-work that they're not just talking about. So like you do all of, so it's, I don't know, it's your second draft or something, or your final draft, and you've already done all the other work, or they're just peddling some nonsense, shallow.
Sit down, mash all the keys.
Yeah.
Until you've got 100,000 words.
And you know, maybe I could bash out a 10, 20,000 word book in a weekend. I absolutely could. But that would be an ebook. It wouldn't be the type of book that I'm perhaps talking about. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about like a solid printed book that you can, that is, a thing that people will keep and refer to again and again. Because my first book is, you know, it needs updating and there's aspects of it that I don't like. But I still get messages from people saying, oh, your book helped me turn my business around, and, you know, I refer to it, it's my Bible, it sits on my desk. And that always makes me go, really?
Yeah, I was actually talking to someone a fortnight ago who runs, she left the business I work in to start a creche, a nursery, looking after people's kids. And so I'd seen her for the first time in months and said, oh, how are you getting on? And she was like, oh, well, you know, it was okay. The first couple of months were rough. And, you know, people assume that they don't have to pay you, or that they don't need to pay you on time, or that they can pick up and drop off the kids whenever they feel like it, or, you know, cancel and not expect to pay, and all that kind of nonsense. I said, and then I read Vicky's book. And I decided how I want my business to be. And I did this and I did that, and I took steps, and then I spoke to people, and I kicked a couple of people out, and I was just like, oh,
that's
amazing.
Awesome.
And now she's actually running the business that she wants to run.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And actually getting paid for it on time.
Yeah, which is, you know, awesome. And that story is quite similar to one of my superheroes, Cyan. Hi, Cyan.
Hi, Cyan.
Who, you know, I sent her a copy of my book a few months ago, and she has said many beautiful things to me since then. But, you know, she read my book and she did all the stuff in it. And she turned her life around, you know. And she said, I've literally had the best Christmas that I've had in years because I've not been scraping together every last penny. And, you know, then she joined my superheroes because she made enough money to do that. And, like, she's had her messages to me have had me in floods of tears. And so, you know, that's another reason to write your book. Your books change worlds. Not necessarily the whole world all in one earth-shaking go, but they change people's lives. You could write a book that changes somebody's life for the better, that helps them turn an aspect of their life that's shit into an aspect of their life that's wonderful. And that in itself makes the whole damn thing worthwhile, you know? And that's even before you get onto all of the rest of the stuff that, you know, that sort of sits behind your book. So other reasons to write your book is, you know, you've kind of touched on this already, but it establishes you as a celebrity in your industry. You know, puts you up the top of your tree, because most people in your industry will not write a book. They won't do it. Not can't, won't. It'll open doors that you never even knew were there. As soon as people find out that you've written a book, suddenly they ask you to come and speak at their events. I always speak. I'm speaking at several of Dom's events this year. I'm speaking at...
Hi, Dom.
Hi, Dom. I'm speaking at Teresa's Business Lunch Club. Hi, Teresa.
Hi,
and
Teresa.
Ash. I'm speaking there next Tuesday. You know, they're taking me all the way down to Kent, I think. I should probably find out. To go and talk there, because I have a book and this is what I do.
Yeah.
And so it will open doors that you never knew were there. You will find that the media wants to interview you. People call you to ask for your opinion on stuff and ask for your advice. It'll help you attract your ideal clients and repel unsuitable ones. And you touched on that earlier, because you really have to dig into who people are. And if you write your book in your voice and put yourself and your personality and your opinions and all the rest of it into it, then, some people are going to love you and some people are really not. And that's okay.
And that's worth finding out before you're their client.
Yes, absolutely.
They're your client, whichever way around it is.
Yes.
They're your client. Because, if somebody reads your book, gets a chapter and a half in and goes, oh, no, this isn't quite right for us. This isn't, no, not really. No. That's great.
Yeah.
They don't waste your time.
No,
they don't waste their time. You don't get into an angsty deal that you want to get out of in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah. And they get to know your rules as well, because the way I write my books, that's how I work. And I certainly in Business for Superheroes, part of that was, this is how I run my business. And the part of the reason I did that, it's not just as an example to other new business owners, but also because potential clients are going to be reading that book. And I want them to know that I'm not going to be available 24/7 on the end of the phone. I'm not going to be answering emails, as soon as they come in. That's not how my business and my life works. So I don't have to explain that to them because they
know.
They've read it. They know. Yeah. Okay. So what else? Why else would somebody want to write a book, Joe?
Oof. Well, it gives you a nice kind of place to position your business. Hook to hang it on.
Yeah. So instead of selling all of the products and services that you've got and kind of having to...
Yeah, because your book's going to be specific, isn't it? It's not going to be like, here's everything you ever wanted to know about being a mechanic or whatever. It's going to be, I'm a specialist gearbox rebuilder or whatever, and here's the things you need to know if you want to get this sort of work done. And it's going to be all of the detail about your niche. You're not going to write a book that covers, the whole encyclopedia. It's going to be something specific.
Yeah.
And, you're the person who wrote that book.
Yeah.
And that makes your business really easily marketable and targetable, and people who, want you to change their tyres aren't going to come and talk to you because you're the guy who rebuilds gearboxes.
But that doesn't mean that you won't change people's tyres after you've done their gearboxes, because this is something else that people worry about, and we're talking about niching here now, really, and that's the same thing. It's the same thing, really, because like you say, you're going to write a book that's on a specialist subject, and it's going to be in your niche. And so we're talking a bit about niching. And I do have people push back at me on that. And it's like, well, am I not really narrowing down who I can work with and what I can do? And my answer is, well, no, you're not really, because you are attracting people with that very specific problem. But that doesn't mean that you then can't talk to them about all of the other stuff you do as well. So he might be a gearbox specialist, but, his garage may also look at brakes and all the rest of it. He's not going to send your car out without doing, with brakes that don't work and that kind of thing. So just because you're only talking about one thing in your book, or your niche is, this is the thing that you hang your hat on, doesn't mean that you can't work with people on other areas that are related to that as well.
Sure.
It just means that this is the thing that you're known for. And that's really, really important. And it also makes it easy because then you don't have to sell all of this other stuff. It's like you just have to sell your book.
Yeah.
And your book is your doorway. It's the doorway for clients to come into your business and work with you in all sorts of other ways.
It's great marketing.
It's great marketing, yeah. So, I don't have to, once my new book's finished, I don't have to try and get people to come on my book course and, work with me as a ghostwriter or as a coach, because they'll read the book and they'll decide from that. They'll get onto my email list because I've got resources on the website for people. The next logical step is going to be to do one of my courses or, to become one of my coaching clients. And that's the way they're going to come in. I don't have to sell the coaching and the ghostwriting and all the rest of it because the book does that for me.
And they've pre-qualified themselves and they know how you work and...
Exactly.
In they come.
Yeah. And once you've got your book as well, that's not the end of things. You can turn it into all manner of other stuff. So podcasts, yeah. I mean, this podcast came out of the book that I wrote, my first book, and has kind of stumbled.
It has wandered off somewhat.
But yeah, I mean, the book that I'm writing at the moment, I'm already planning the newsletter that's going to go out with it, because everybody who buys my book will become a member of my free club and they'll get my monthly newsletter and all the rest of it. I've done this the other way around because I made my How to Write a Book course before I wrote the book. But I'll be refining my course now based on the book.
further thinking you've done in the book.
Yeah, and I've also got a few other courses in mind as well. So, and if you write your book, then it's going to be really simple for you to turn your book into a course, because there really is only so much money you can charge for a book. And, I always say you can charge whatever you like for anything, but books do have a ceiling, unless you're selling a university textbook for 50 quid or whatever stupid money they go for these days. You can't generally charge more than 20 or 30 pounds for a book, and that's at the very top end. And ebooks, 10 quid top end, really. But you can take all of that content and turn it into a course and sell it for £200, £500, £1,000. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not cheating people. It's not, because what you'll find is people will read your book and they'll have everything they need. And I know this will happen with my book. They'll read my book and they'll be like, oh, your book was brilliant. Now, how do I write my book? And you'll think, good Lord, did you not read the book? But what happens is that people read books, but it's not a course. Reading is quite a passive thing. Some people will take everything in the book and they will do it and they will get results and that'll be marvellous. Many people will not. They will read it and they'll think, this is fantastic. I want to do this. I need more help, which is where you put a course together and you just make it more interactive and more active generally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And, again, you can turn it into a video series. You can turn it into audiobooks. The audio series, you can turn it into a series of interviews. You just
find somebody with a marvellously mellifluous voice and get them to read your book.
You should read my book.
I'm available on commission.
On commission? For a large fee.
For a very large fee.
And a percentage of the royalties. The book is not the end of your journey. It's just the very beginning.
Sure.
And there's many reasons to write one. I think the best reason for me, because all of the money that you'll make and all the rest of it, the business building stuff, is all fantastic. But for me, it's the knowledge that people will read my book and then change their lives for the better. And I just think that's so cool. And the confidence boost that I get as well from people asking me stuff. It's like, oh, you wrote a book on this. What, help, tell me stuff. And that's really cool. It's a proper ego boost, but it's also a confidence boost as well.
Yeah.
So if you have been thinking about writing a book and you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I should, it's all been said, all the rest of it, then I say nonsense. Write your book. You can write a book. Everyone can write a book. Most people won't. I'm writing a book to show you how to write a book, which is kind of meta.
It's getting quite meta.
Yeah. But my book will be out. What date is it? My book will be out in the next month or so. I have a date in my head, and it was end of March. It might now be pushed back a little bit because I've got some more stuff to do. But
I think you should just do it.
I could do. I'll see. So, any questions?
Not from me.
Okay. Any questions from you, Whiskey? No? I've got Whiskey on my knee. She's purring.
No questions from Whiskey.
No questions from Whiskey. Any questions from you, listeners? If you want to know anything about, why you should write a book, what you can do with your book afterwards, please write in and tell me or ask me, because we will answer them in the podcast.
Interaction for the win.
Interaction for the win. And remember, if you've listened to every single episode, email me, vicky@vickyfraser.com, and let me know, because I've got a gift to send you.
Nice.
Yeah. So coming up next week, we are going to talk about 10 ways to come up with a good book title.
Oh, crikey. Really?
Which I am utterly failing to do for my book at the moment. It's driving me up the wall.
The book.
The book.
How to book your book.
The big book about books. Big book about writing books.
Meta book.
Meta book. I have a couple of options, actually. Write your way to the top, and how the hell do you write a book? Anyway, so we will
Suggestions
see.
welcome.
I've got many people on it. So yeah, we'll be back same time next week. In the meantime, if you like this podcast, please go to iTunes and subscribe. It helps us climb the rankings. And please rate and review us. Oh,
man, if you're going to give us a 2-star review and then write a glowing report, could you at least,
Don't be mean. I've hit the wrong number of stars before.
We got a 2-star review.
Oh, it was really
full of really warm, lovely words and enthusiasm.
It was really funny because I looked at it, I was like, oh, somebody's given us a 2-star review. What? And then I read it and I was like, oh, that's lovely. And then I was like, wait, what? But yeah, if you like this podcast, please go to iTunes and rate us and review us. Give us 5 stars, please, and share us as well. If you know somebody who will enjoy this, share it with them. Send them to vickyfraser.com/podcast, or share the link on iTunes, or wherever you like, really. So we'll be back same time next week.
Excellent.
Toodle pip.
Bye.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.